Will he be joining Tic Tac? Oh, sorry. Let's do that again.
Tic Tac.
What's happening, guys? Micah here again. This week on Microphones, we're catching up with John Stones and Tom Heaton. Enjoy. I heard you say you've been using this time to focus on aspects of your game. What did you mean by that?
This season's been like frustrating for me injury-wise. Coming back from injuries, getting re-injured, things like that. So I've just used this time really to kind of take a step back and see where I can do more in terms of off the pitch, gym work, strength. As soon as we stopped, went straight into the gym, didn't stop, and started on the little things. And obviously 2 months in now, I feel brilliant and can see where I've come from with my quad strength and things like that, where you can get wrapped up in it when you're playing and think, oh yeah, feel fit, feel this and that, but you've not done the work off the pitch for your body to sustain it when you're playing. So it's kind of been an eye opener for me, and in a way that I wouldn't have looked at it before. So, you know, taking that step back and realizing that I've got to do more and got to do not only more for me, for my teammates and for my own career as well, to be able to be selected to play.
But how has that affected the mental side, though? You know, like if you get criticism or you're being injured, how you managed to deal with that mentally?
Literally, everyone is different. So some will take it to heart. It might affect them more than others. I think I've got to try. I take it and try and turn it into a positive and let that negative press or whatever it might be motivate me to come back better and stronger, I suppose.
But you know how good you are as a player, so ultimately it only matters what you think and your coaching staff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, take for instance the Carabao Cup final. Ball's gone up in the air. I'm backtracking, but as I'm looking up and I'm tracking back, all I could see was, and you'll know, when you kick a ball up in the air and it's just blue sky, it's coming down and you don't know where it's going to land. And I just got disorientated. The next minute I'm on the floor and I'm thinking, oh no, like just get up, get back into it. But it could have gone like two ways really. I could have crumbled and not done anything and let it affect me. But then I thought my character and performance after that was something that I should be proud of, and how I reacted and helped the team, and especially in the last 10 minutes. So you've got to come through those situations to know what to do. And those things go unrecognised, but not to your teammates. You know, everyone saw the mistake and or the fall or whatever, which happens. You know, it just happens in football, and everyone's saying that I got sniped after, but.
So let's move on more to our England. I heard the togetherness and the squad is really good nowadays.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I remember going into the World Cup before, and media were saying to me, you know, it's been a lot of. I think at the time, old players were coming out and saying about their experiences, and there was no togetherness and things like that. And it's something that kind of just clicked, but had been created as well with the things that as a team we do with the management staff and obviously the people that are there to help us in group scenarios or on the pitch. And I think it helps that we're similar age, you know, such young players, got similar interests. There's no egos, which is I don't know, it's kind of scary now that there's none of them, because back in the day I'm sure there was more, and I came through teams where there was egos and you know, you kind of went around those people that were in the team. It's a bit like City as well. There's literally no egos, and when I came in, to that dressing room, it was like a surprise because there's superstars, you know, and they're all there's nothing. Same with England, superstars everywhere coming up, making the names, young players, and yeah, it's, the togetherness is probably what got us through that World Cup as well. A major factor of it, because of there's some tough times, tough things from the media. You know how it is before major tournaments, and maybe rightly so because of England's track record. But at the same time, we were in these scenarios and were maybe naive but confident as well. That we were all together and on the same page in what we wanted and wanted to get out of these games. So I think that's why we were so successful. And you know, it's really nice when you get an international break as well, because it's a change and it's something that you're excited for as well, a different team environment and somewhere you feel comfortable. And that, I think that's important. I remember going up to the first team, the senior squad. I was so nervous. There's Stevie G, there's Lamps, Wazza's there, you know, all these big players, and they did their own thing. I'm not criticising them at all. Everyone's their own person, but there wasn't that togetherness as much as our squad is now, and that's times changing and probably loads of different factors. But it's nice to be able to go into a squad and feel at home, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because when I first went into England squad, I was the only player from Man City,
Yeah,
and I was small time compared to Beckham, Lampard.
yeah.
The names go on, Gerrard, and I just felt like I couldn't reach out to them, so I felt alone. But if you look at the atmosphere now, the amount of banter that you lot have outside the field as well, it's just brilliant.
It honestly is, because you spend that much time with each other, or as a little time when you're at England. You've got to have like that comfort. Well, for me anyway, you've got to have that comfort of being able to spend all day with each other, training for a few hours, and then going back to your room or whatever it might be, and spending that time. So I think it's only going to grow. It is only going to grow through ups and downs and through success or not.
And you're obviously disappointed that there's going to be no Euros this season, but in terms for next season, it might put you in a better stead. You'll have more time together as a group.
I don't know what's going to happen with this season yet, but you've been playing to and knowing what's happening in the summer, and then that to not happen, it's frustrating. But yeah, as you said, then we've got more time to kind of perfect everything or lead up to the Euros. Have more time, players have more experience playing for the clubs. You never know; it might be a bit of a blessing in disguise that it is pushed back a year, or fingers crossed it is. I think we just got to use the time as much as we can now. Whenever we get back.
It's mad. I was speaking to Jordan Pickford last week, and he said if he was to choose one person or two people to go and go, it would either you or Harry Kane. You or Harry Kane. Who's going to be a better goalie out of you and Harry Kane?
I'm gonna say me. Can you imagine me with the gloves on and everything?
What about when Walker went in there? Honestly, I was crying.
When Walks went in, right? So we were warming up, me and him on the sideline, and Xavi comes out because we're always messing about in training, like pretending we're keepers. So he comes out and I hear John, and Walks was like just walking back up in front of me to the manager, and he's gone, Walks, come on. So Walks is like, look round at me and thought, all right, yeah, go on, let's have it. Like, he's gone in the net. So he's on the sideline giving it all this. But after, on the pitch, I've gone up to him and I've said, oh, no, mate, you're doing it all wrong. You caught it, just the free kick. As keepers analyse everything, don't they?
I heard you're a bit of a dancer as well. I think you moves in the Man City change room. Are you the guy in England as well to be doing the moves?
No chance. fair, at England, I don't bring out the good moves. Part of No, Jesse and a few of the boys have got some, and I'm thinking, I wish I could dance like that. I've seen you as well, actually.
I've got a few moves now and then, a little two-step from time to time. But yeah, we've got some quick fire. We've got 3 quick fire from the fans, and then we'll let you go. What England game in the past do you wish you could have played in?
In the past, wow. I'm going to have to go 66 World Cup final.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer, to be fair, though.
I just think, because we got so close, I'd love to, have been in that squad, of just, legends. If I could go now and try and play with them.
What's it like walking out of Wembley, knowing that the whole of the nation's watching?
Do you know what? After the World Cup and after, probably when Gareth came in, the buzz about the place was miles different, so different, kind of a new era. And when we walk out at Wembley now, it's, they've done so much with the fans getting involved. Just such an iconic stadium. Like when we go there for finals or semi-finals or things like that with our club, kind of brings back all the memories and I mean, Wembley wouldn't be Wembley without the fans in there. So it's literally is. I can't describe it to you, Meeks.
And last but not least, will he be joining Tic Tac? Oh, sorry. Let's do that again.
Tic Tac.
Will you be joining TikTok?
There's no chance. I'll go on.
People want to see you move, Stonesy. The people want to see you.
When I'm cooking dinner at night. No, it's not for me, that. I'm too embarrassed.
Not for you.
What have you got an hat on, mate? Let's see the barnet.
Oh, mate, my barnet is absolutely terrible. Look at that. Mate.
Don't hide it, mate. You got to embrace it.
I can't embrace that, mate. That looks absolutely ridiculous. How's the injury? How's the cruise ship? I know you had the cruise ship. How's it going?
Actually, really, really well. If I'm honest, I know obviously. Again, it's difficult time, but for me personally, the timing of it sort of worked in my favour. I just sort of finished the medical point of view with. Obviously, you don't stop getting the hands-on treatment from the physios, but it was just coming to a bit less at that point. I was moving into a strength phase just as we got locked down, really. So I've been able to use a bit of gym equipment at home and sort of build it up. So it's if I'm honest, it feels really good, making really good progress. Back running, back doing a little bit of acceleration and deceleration. Not that much acceleration, mate, I don't think. But yeah, doing all right.
Towing a caravan.
Hey, I'm quick off the mark. It. But yeah, no, if I'm honest, I'm really, really pleased with the progress. It feels really, really good. So yeah, no complaints at all. Sort of maximise the time, and with not a lot else to do, I've literally just been blasting the rehab. I've been up in the getting down there doing my gym work at sort of 6:30 in the morning, a couple of hours in the morning. So it's been really good, mate. Yeah, I've been doing all right actually.
Obviously, you've had shoulder injuries before as well. Obviously, you have knee. How have you managed to cope with the mental side of it, though?
Yeah, good question. That actually, I think that's actually probably helped me, if I'm honest. The shoulder injury was a nasty one. It's probably nastier than the ACL, which I had a dislocation, fracture, and quite a lot of nerve damage in the shoulder. It was a real nasty one that kept me out for a long time, especially as a keeper. But I think having been through it and gone through the sort of rehab phase and the pain, and then you sort of come out the other side and your mind's probably ready to play, but your body's not quite there. So all those sort of experiences, I feel pretty relaxed, to be honest. And I think that's probably why I feel so good in the rehab now. And I sort of know what's important. You can't miss a day of the rehab, and you really want to be doing more than what you're given. So with that in mind, I've really been putting my foot on the accelerator with the rehab, and it's paid off so far. But again, no doubts about coming back because I've sort of done it before. You've got that as a blueprint, really. You know, if you put it in, you do things right, it's going to come back in the end. That's certainly how it worked for my shoulder, and so that's almost, there's like a bit of a calmness with it, really. No problems, just got to go through the stages, get those stages right, and we'll see where it takes us. So it's probably been never great to have a long injury, but it's been good to have that as a something I can use, if you know what I mean.
It sort of probably helped you a little bit though as well with the Euros being put back another year. You know, obviously, it probably would have been too soon for you to go the Euros, maybe. So another year just gives you the time that you need.
Yeah, bang on. I think another silver lining for me. I think when I did the injury, obviously the 1st of January this year, you know, you're obviously gutted you're going to miss the rest of the season for Villa. But then beyond that, the Euros that I was obviously aiming towards hopefully being involved in, certainly the opportunity to perhaps give yourself a chance of being involved in it, that had gone, really. So for that to then be pushed back, and there's never any guarantees. It's down to the individual, but to have the chance to be involved in that now, you know, it's like you know, Christmas has come a little bit early for me in terms of that getting pushed. Just gives you the opportunity to be involved in it, which I thought I'd lost. So yeah, that's been another silver lining for me, really.
I seen your mate Kevin McNaughton at Cardiff. Well, he was tweeting something to do with making a cup of tea. Can you explain what this is all about, mate, please?
Yeah, you know, the sort of old school mentality of the young lads make the tea, which has completely gone out of the game, which I'm not having at all, to be fair. I always try and ask the young lads to sort of get up and make a brew, which they tend to pull themselves away from the travel fortnight and have a bit of a whinge, but they don't tend to be too keen on making brews these days. But no, when I was at Cardiff, I was on loan. I think I was 22, 23, which might not seem a young player, but I was the youngest by a country mile at the time. So I got up, tried to make the brews for the lads. Instead of putting the kettle on, I used the hot tap on the coach, made everyone a brew using that. So I think the water had been in the tank for about 2 years, mate. Oh, it was dreadful. Dreadful. Yeah, he's been a bit lively, Kev, actually. He told another story about the pre-season at Cardiff where I got literally sprayed with a fire extinguisher about 3 o'clock in the morning by a couple of lads on pre-season. One of the dust fire extinguishers as well. They had to pay a fortune to get the room fixed. So yeah, he's been a bit lively, Kev. Actually, I'm gonna have to have a word with him, I think.
He stitched you up a little bit, mate.
He has, mate. He's been all over me.
Frappuccino, innit?
How was the camp when you go to England? And you know, obviously, I've spoken about my difficulties trying to sort of integrate within the camp. When you go to the camp, what's the atmosphere like?
You know, I played a lot of youth team England international football. You know, 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s, 21s. So a lot of the lads, or certainly quite a few, especially when I first got involved. You know, I either played with before or knew relatively well. So that makes it easier when you first go in. You know, it's been very, very sort of a very close-knit group, really. Everyone's a real good bond and relationship between everyone. It's actually enjoyable to go and see the lads. It's almost like a club environment that gets transferred across, which always surprises me when people say that about the previous England squads. But that's certainly not my experience at all. It's a very good group. It's a very sort of welcoming atmosphere, really, for new players and what have you coming in. There's no issues. I don't think anyone particularly struggles with it from what I've seen. And it's just almost like a gang of lads getting together. Going to spend a week or two in each other's pockets for 10 days.
Talking about that, the methods that you use with the keepers, you know, it always seems like you're having a bit of fun and a banter. If you watch like the England, the social medias, it's always the keepers having a bit of fun.
Yeah, I think you've got to. I think goalkeeping's slightly different. I tend to get a few characters goalkeeping anyway, as you'll well know. But I think, you know, you do have a close bond. You know, there's an understanding and respect of what the position takes. I think, you know, having a laugh in training, we're all trying to score past each other, but in the right way. You know, everyone's fighting for the shirt. So yeah, I think we have that sort of competitive but sort of enjoyable mentality. I think you're spending so much time with each other during that week. You know, it's 24/7. I think it to benefit everyone, it's got to be like that, really. It can't be too intense. Certainly not on the training days, I don't think. You know, you want to be getting as much out of it as you possibly can, and in the right way. And that's probably why you see, you know, the jovial atmosphere, the bit of crack going on. Because I think, generally speaking, everyone gets more out of themselves with that.
outside of sort of football, your hobbies, what would you say you're the best at in the England squad? There's so many things. Could be golf, could be, what are you the best at?
Yeah. I play a bit of golf. But I think if you ask most other people this question, I think the honest answer would be being the most effective in my time in the room, mate, getting jobs done, sorting emails out and that. Which is ridiculously boring, I am aware, mate. But I'm a bit of a one-trick pony, if I'm honest. I don't get me wrong, I like a bit of golf, but I'm literally football, mate. Football's where I'm at. I'm not mad onto computer games that the lads play when they're away and what have you. Yeah, other than that, I can't offer you too much, mate. But I'm unbelievably efficient. Unbelievably efficient.
Unbelievable. So what about after football? I don't want to wish your career away.
Yeah.
But have you thought about what you want to do after football?
I'm open-minded, if I'm honest. It's sort of, when I first did my shoulder injury a few years ago, I spent a little bit of time thinking about it. Again, I think early on in this injury, I spent a little bit of time just thinking. I think it's probably the right thing to do. But I think I've come to that point where I still feel like I've got 3, 4, 5 years left of top football. I feel better than ever. I feel in better physical shape. I feel like my 6 months at Villa, where I was at in terms of performances, where I felt my capabilities were. I feel better than ever. So I still feel like I'm improving. I still feel like I've got an awful lot to give. Goalkeepers, tend to go on a lot longer. So I don't want to take my eye off the ball one bit. So I'm not ducking your question. It'd be difficult for me to say I'd come out of football. I think I've got I've got my B license outfield. I've got my A license. I'm just doing my B license goalkeeping badge at the minute, just to sort of go alongside it. I'm open-minded what I'll do, but I think for me that I'll be spending every second geared towards playing, performing when I'm playing, and making sure I'm getting the best out of myself. And then when that comes around, I'll hopefully have had a few things ticking along in the background that I'll start sort of bringing to the fore.
If could give any advice to any footballer who's still in the game, just stay in it as long as you possibly can.
Yeah. Interestingly, in this lockdown, that's what I've sort of found. It's been great being at home with a kid. Got 2 kids, got 2 boys. Trying to play a little bit of football with my eldest, and being around the house, been brilliant. But it has brought home to me how much I miss going into the dressing room. You know what I mean? Giving it out about what people are wearing and it's brilliant. You just can't beat it. It's like nothing like it. So that is something that I've massively missed. So yeah, I can't wait to get back to that. And I take your point. I'm the same. I absolutely love football. I still love it now as much as I did when I was 10 years old. So yeah, I think staying in it as long as possible, especially when I still feel like I'm improving and getting better. I think for me, it's not even on the cards at the minute.
If you had to play another position, what would it be and why?
100% centre forward, target man. No doubt about it, mate. Getting on the end of a few crosses and that. Bit of a Giroud, little bit of class. You know what I mean? I 100% centre forward for me.
Well, you think you got the capabilities to notch a few?
No, in a decent side, lad. If you give me some service, I might be all right. But don't get me wrong. I enjoy scoring past the other goalies in training. Usually put a little celebration on the end of it. So yeah, definitely a closet centre forward. When I was at school, play for the high school. Obviously, I was a goalie at the time. I was signed on at Man United, but not interested in playing in goal. I was up front, mate, running riot up front, air shots and that. But I certainly like playing outfield.
What advice would you give to young goalkeepers?
There's so much involved in goalkeeping, especially these days. It's a specialist position. There's an awful lot of techniques. There's a lot of tactical understanding. You're now having to be better and better with your feet. So there's an awful lot to take on board in terms of your learning and physically how you can develop in different ways. I think for me, it's just don't leave any stone unturned. You take ownership yourself on your own career. Don't rely on anyone else. Get other sources of input, coaches, different people that can support you. But at the end of the day, it's down to you to improve, you to get better, you to forge your own career, doing more than what other people are doing, working better than what other people are doing. And not necessarily, I don't see things as a me versus them. I more mean me versus myself and versus everyone else in the world, really, making sure that I'm maximising what I can do. So yeah, it wasn't exactly a concise answer, but I'd say just make sure you're doing everything you possibly can, think outside the box, and take ownership yourself on your own career.
Amazing. There's 3 Harrys in the England squad. What do you call them all?
Yeah, there's obviously skipper Harry Kane, who's H to me. Winksy is Winksy. And Harry Maguire's Big H. That's how I
Big
know
H.
There's Big H, and Winksy. That's how I see it.
Well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the latest episode of Microphones. Tune in for next week to see what guests we have next.